Do you ever look back through the years, maybe flipping through old photos or just sitting quietly, and wish you'd squeezed in just a little more time, real quality time, with the people who truly matter most in your life? It's a thought that creeps up on many of us, isn't it? Well, today we're going to talk honestly about that very feeling. We're exploring one of the most common reflections many folks share as they get older, the regret of letting work, daily chores, or simply the relentless pace of life overshadow those precious connections with family and friends. Because let's face it, these relationships are the absolute bedrock of a happy, fulfilling life, especially in our later chapters. Neglecting them doesn't just lead to missed moments, like watching grandchildren discover the world or sharing simple joys with dear friends. It can lead to a profound sense of loneliness and the feeling that we missed out on the truly irreplaceable things. Focusing on this brings such peace of mind and deepens our well-being. I often think of my old neighbor, Arthur. He was a wonderful man, truly dedicated to his career back in the day. But he often shared with a wistful look how he wished he hadn't worked quite so many late nights chasing those promotions. He realized, perhaps a little late, that he'd missed countless irreplaceable moments with his children when they were small, and later, precious time with his grandkids during their fleeting younger years. He'd say those simple, everyday moments were worth far more than any bonus check. We'll talk more about how to avoid that feeling right now. So, if this topic touches your heart or makes you think, please give this video a little thumbs up, a like. It truly helps others like us find this chat. And if you enjoy conversations like this, tailored for a senior's navigating life, do consider subscribing to the channel for more helpful insights and stories. You know, it reminds me of my dear friend Eleanor. For years, oh years, she would just about drive herself batty worrying if her house was spotless before anyone came over. Every cushion had to be plumped, not a speck of dust in sight. She'd spend hours cleaning instead of relaxing before friends arrived. Now, thankfully, she can chuckle about it. She often tells me, "Goodness, I wish I'd spent less time worrying about the state of the floor and more time just sitting down, having a proper natter and enjoying the coffee with the folks who actually came to see me, not my polished furniture." And isn't that just the way? Looking back, so many of us realize how much precious time, how much good energy we poured into worrying. Worrying about things that, honestly, didn't amount to a hill of beans in the long run. What did Mrs. Higgins down the street really think of my curtains? What if it rains on picnic day next week? These little anxieties pile up. It's not just about missing out on the fun, though. This constant fretting, this low-level hum of worry, it truly takes a toll. It can wind you up tight, raise your blood pressure, and just plain steal the joy right out from under your nose, preventing you from appreciating the good things happening right now. So, what can we do about it? Well, try to gently steer your thoughts towards things you actually can influence. When those pesky worries start buzzing around your head, take a moment. A few slow, deep breaths can make a surprising difference. And maybe, just maybe, try ending your day by thinking of one or two simple things you're grateful for. It helps shift the focus, doesn't it? Less dusting, more chatting, as Eleanor learned. Let me tell you about Frank. I knew him from the community center. Sharp fellow, always had big plans for retirement, traveling, seeing the world. But Frank, bless his heart, often sighed about things he wished he'd done differently decades ago. He'd say things like, "If only I'd listened about the cigarettes, or maybe if I hadn't ignored my diet for so long." Now, in his late 70s, managing his diabetes and the breathing problems that came from smoking takes up so much of his time and energy. Energy he'd much rather be using to pack a suitcase for one of those trips he dreamed of. It really brings home that old saying, doesn't it? Our health truly is our wealth. It's the foundation for everything else. Enjoying time with the grandkids, pursuing our hobbies, just being able to get around easily without aches and pains limiting us. When we brush off simple health advice year after year, maybe skipping those checkups, not moving our bodies much, eating whatever's quick and easy, those little neglects can really build up over time. They can turn into chronic conditions later on, things like heart trouble or joint problems, that perhaps could have been prevented or at least lessened with earlier attention. It impacts our independence and our quality of life tremendously. But listen, it's usually never too late to start making better choices. Even small steps can make a difference. Try adding just a short walk to your daily routine. Focus on putting more colorful fruits and vegetables onto your plate at mealtimes. Make getting enough sleep a real priority. It does wonders for body and mind. And please don't put off those doctor visits or the screenings they recommend. They're there to help catch things early when they're often easier to manage. Taking care of yourself isn't being selfish. It's truly an investment in your own future happiness and ability to enjoy life. Alright, let's talk about something close to my own heart, playing it too safe with our dreams. How many times do we look back and think, oh, I wish I'd taken that trip, or learned to play the piano, or even just started that little garden project I kept putting off? We get caught up in the day-to-day, the practicalities, maybe a little fear of looking silly or failing. Or we simply tell ourselves, oh, it's too late for that now. But you know, life isn't just about ticking off the chores and paying the bills. It's also meant for joy, for exploring things that truly make us feel alive. Ignoring those little sparks, those quiet desires, can lead to some hefty regrets down the line, leaving us feeling like we missed out on a richer, fuller experience of life. Take my lovely friend Betty, for example. For years, decades really, she talked about wanting to paint with watercolors. But she'd always follow it up with, oh, but I don't have a creative bone in my body. Isn't that something we tell ourselves? Well, for her 75th birthday, her daughter bought her a beginner's watercolor set. Just a simple one, and wouldn't you know it, Betty took to it like a duck to water. She paints these absolutely charming landscapes now, finds such peace in it. Her only regret, she told me just the other day, was not starting 30 years sooner. Imagine all the joy she might have missed simply because she thought she couldn't or shouldn't. Her story really highlights how we often become our own biggest obstacle. So, what's the takeaway here? Maybe backpacking through Europe isn't on the cards anymore, and that's all right. But what about a weekend exploring that charming little town just to drive away? What about finally taking that pottery class you saw advertised at the community center? Or joining the local choir, even if you only ever sang in the shower before? You could even learn basic Italian online, just for fun. Don't let that little voice whispering, "It's too late," or "What will people think," win. Find something, anything, that sparks your interest and give it a go. Start small if you need to. Just start. You might surprise yourself with what you can still do and, more importantly, how much joy it brings. Now, let's touch on something a bit deeper, something that can certainly weigh on us as we get older. It's about holding back our true selves and our feelings. You know, maybe regretting not saying, "I love you," more often, or perhaps not speaking our truth, kindly of course, when it mattered. Sometimes it's about apologies never given, or forgiveness never offered. Why does this matter so much now? Well, constantly bottling things up, or wearing a mask just to please others, rarely leads to genuine contentment. It can put a real strain on our relationships with family, with friends, and leave us with this nagging feeling of an incomplete life, like we didn't show up as ourselves. My dear friend Margaret, she's 80 now, once shared something very poignant with me. With tears welling up, she confessed her biggest regret was never truly telling her father how much she loved and admired him. He was a busy man, often seemed distant, and then he was gone suddenly. That silence, she said, haunted her for decades. You see, being genuine, expressing our appreciation, and having the courage to resolve conflicts, that's where deep connections and real inner peace come from. It takes vulnerability, yes, but the reward is immense. So, here's a gentle nudge. Make it a point to tell the people you cherish that you love them. Share your thoughts respectfully. Don't be afraid to be the first to say, "I'm sorry," and be open to forgiving others. And just as crucial, forgive yourself for times you held back. Now, let's talk about some common regrets folks often mention as they get older. First up is not spending enough quality time with loved ones. Life rolls along, doesn't it? We get caught up in routines, maybe assume there will always be more time. But neglecting those connections, letting friendships drift or visits become rare, can lead to real loneliness later on, which isn't good for the soul or the body. Think about Margaret, 75. She always planned, next month, visits to her grandkids who lived a few hours away. But next month kept getting pushed back until health issues made traveling tough. She now misses those moments terribly. So, my advice, don't put it off. Make that call, send that message, schedule that visit today. Even a quick chat makes a difference. Another big one is worrying too much, especially about things we can't control. Oh, the energy we waste fussing over what-ifs. It steals our joy right out from under us and can truly wear us down, affecting sleep and peace of mind. My neighbor, George, 80, spent years fretting daily about his finances, even though he was comfortable. He was always tense. Looking back, he realizes he missed enjoying so much of his retirement because he was consumed by worries that mostly never came to pass. So, when worry creeps in, ask yourself if you can actually do something about it. If yes, take action. If not, try your best to let it go. Maybe find a pleasant distraction. Then there's neglecting our health. It's so easy to brush off aches or skip appointments, saying, "Well, I'm not getting any younger." Consider my friend Arthur, 72. He had this nagging cough for ages but just ignored it. Turns out it was pneumonia, and he ended up in the hospital for quite a while, weak as a kitten. He deeply regrets not seeing the doctor sooner. It could have saved him so much bother and recovery time. Our health impacts everything: our independence, our ability to enjoy things. So, listen to your body. Keep those checkups. Stay as active as you comfortably can, and try to eat well. Little steps really do help maintain our quality of life. And what about those dreams we put on the back burner? I knew a lovely lady, Betty, who passed at 88. All her life, she'd wanted to learn watercolor painting, but she always found excuses: too old, not talented enough. She had the time in retirement, but fear held her back. She never did pick up that brush. It's a shame because pursuing interests, no matter how small, keeps our minds engaged and spirits lifted. It gives us something to look forward to. So, what's something you've secretly wanted to try? Learning an instrument, writing stories, gardening? Take one tiny step towards it. Look up a local group or find a tutorial. You might surprise yourself. Finally, there's the regret of not expressing our true feelings. Holding back words of affection, gratitude, or even apology can create distance and leave things unresolved. We might fear being vulnerable, but unspoken words often lead to misunderstandings or missed connections. Take Frank, 79. He had a silly argument with his son years ago, and pride kept both from making amends. When his son passed away suddenly, Frank was devastated by the things left unsaid. Don't let that happen. Tell people you love them. Say thank you. Say sorry if you need to. Share what's in your heart. So, those are 5 common reflections. Hearing them isn't meant to bring us down, but to nudge us gently. The wonderful thing is, right now, we can choose differently. Choose connection, choose joy, choose health, choose passion, choose honesty. It's never too late to live more fully and build a future with fewer regrets. Let's make the most of today. Well, that brings us to the end of our chat for today. It really boils down to this, doesn't it? We spend so much of our youth looking forward, and now, in our retirement life, we have this incredible gift of looking back, but more importantly, living now. Aging wisely isn't just about accumulating years. It's about accumulating understanding and using it to make these golden years truly shine. I remember worrying so much about saving for a rainy day, I nearly forgot to enjoy the sunshine. Let's try not to make that mistake going forward, age. Let's aim to live fully, leaving no room for those nagging what-ifs. This stage, this senior living chapter, it's different for all of us, yet we share so much. We've traded the daily grind for, well, sometimes a different kind of grind, maybe keeping up with the grandkids or the garden. But there's a sweetness to it too. Just yesterday, I was sitting on the porch, just watching the birds. Didn't cost a penny, didn't require booking months in advance. Simple and profoundly peaceful. That's a richness retirement life can offer if we let it. Looking back, the things that often become life regrets are rarely about the career paths not taken, but more about the moments missed. Time with family, that's the real currency. I recall one year, I almost skipped the big family reunion because of some silly disagreement. My wife, bless her, practically dragged me there. Seeing my cousins, laughing over stories I'd almost forgotten, that day healed more than I realized. It reminded me what truly matters. And our health after 60, goodness, that's the foundation for everything else. Ignoring that little ache, skipping that checkup, it's just not worth the risk. Taking care of this vessel allows us to keep showing up for the people and experiences we love. It's paramount for enjoying these years without unnecessary setbacks. So, take these life lessons, mull them over. Maybe share one of your own hard-earned lessons in the comments below. I truly love reading them. It helps us all learn how to navigate this journey better. Let's make a pact, shall we? Let's prioritize joy, connection, and health. Let's live these years with gusto and purpose, building a life filled not with regrets, but with cherished memories. Thanks for spending this time with me today. Until next time, take good care.